I desperately want to see our kids in school this year.
Masks in schools. Governor DeWine and the Ohio Health Department announce they'll let individual districts decide if kids should mask up in the classroom. But they also made it clear wearing masks at school prevents the spread of COVID.
Major league drama. The Portage County Sheriff takes to the department's public Facebook page to express his personal views on the Cleveland Indians name change. Thousands have now commented why the sheriff's post is causing so much debate.
Olympics victory. A Cleveland native wins gold and makes history doing it. We talked to her, and Jimmy Donovan has all your news from Tokyo.
And it was a different kind of competition out in Valley City as these athletes try to leapfrog into their own record books. Stay with us. What's New starts right now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Hello again, Northeast Ohio, and a very good Monday afternoon to everyone. I hope your week is off to a fantastic start. Along with Betsy Kling, I'm Jay Crawford. Thanks so much for spending time with us on this Monday.
We absolutely have a lot to get to. A lot of folks are talking today because the masking question continues to come up. And as the upcoming school year quickly approaches, parents want to know if their kids will be mandated to wear masks in class.
Today, the Ohio Department of Health discussed new state guidance for school safety. Senior health correspondent Monica Robbins joins us now on What's New with the very latest. Monica, good afternoon. I guess we should start with the question everybody wants answered. Are we going back to a mask mandate?
Probably not.
Okay.
And very probably no, we're not going to.
Okay.
But you know what? After the year we've had, the hope is people learned what works. But as for mandating masks again for school or anywhere else, as of now, it is not likely. And I'll let the governor explain why in just a moment. But first, a quick look at the Ohio Department of Health updated guidance for school. They strongly recommend vaccinations for staff and eligible students. They strongly recommend those who are unvaccinated consistently wear masks, and that schools implement additional measures, including improved ventilation, continued social distancing, and good hand washing. Now, the entire guideline report will be released tomorrow. And while you shouldn't toss your mask just yet, here's why the governor says he's not planning to mandate them again.
There's not the appetite in this state today for that kind of a mandate. We did it last year with schools. It worked very, very well. There's not the appetite in the state to do that. I do not effectively have the ability to do that. But what I do have the ability to do, and what our health department has the ability to do, is to tell what the facts are.
And the governor said those facts included that since January, 16,924 unvaccinated Ohioans were hospitalized with COVID, compared to 205 who were vaccinated. He also said since January, 6,812 unvaccinated Ohioans died from COVID, compared to just 34 who were vaccinated. His point is that the numbers show that vaccinations do work.
Yeah, proof's in the numbers.
We are collecting a list of schools as well to find out what their mandates are going to be if they instill them on their own. But right now it looks like it's going to be individual choice, except in some school districts like Cleveland.
All right, very good. Monica, thanks.
Sure.
Well, there's a lot more that folks are talking about, and boy, wouldn't you know, it's pretty heated, actually. The Cleveland Indians, they have a new name that's effective at the end of this season. Fans will be rooting for the Cleveland Guardians. The news made official on Friday, and obviously there's still a lot of buzz that's going on. Now we're hearing a little bit more about the how and why they went with Guardians. The organization says the decision came after over 100 hours of discussion with fans, community leaders, and of course the front office.
The team says they conducted thousands of surveys. They had brainstorming sessions. They looked at all the names and the options that were generated, and they narrowed it down through vetting rounds. But Betsy, as you can imagine, the change has left some fans upset, and it's still sparking conversations in Northeast Ohio, including one now at a local sheriff's department.
So let's bring in Brandon Simmons to talk about what was posted and what people are saying as this name buzz continues. Brandon?
Hey, Betsy and Jay. Yeah, this is probably the sheriff's most popular post by far. At last check, that has been shared over 3,000 times with more than 13,000 comments so far. Sheriff Bruce Zakowski's post on company letterhead posted to Facebook says he's making a statement on behalf of the, quote, silent majority who are not happy about the name change. And he continued to say the name change is, quote, another attempt of trying to erase our history due to the outcry of the few that affects the many, end quote. He said that after informing everyone that his wife is a Native American descendant. And lastly, he added that, quote, decision makers need to think about the majority before caving to the demands made by a small group, end quote. Now, there are people on each side who agree and disagree with what the sheriff had to say, but First Amendment experts say it's where he posted it that could be problematic.
In my mind, it falls in the category of legal but not appropriate. I would prefer for, I'm not a Portage County resident, but I would prefer that the representatives that represent me in government be focusing on their jobs, not necessarily weighing in on, what the professional baseball team in Cleveland has decided to name itself.
Now, Portage County Treasurer Brad Cromis took to his personal Facebook account to respond, saying he may not be in the silent majority and that he was good with the new Guardian's name if it made others feel more comfortable and included. Now, coming up at 6 o'clock on What Matters Most, we'll hear from that silent majority that the sheriff is referring to as the Cleveland Indigenous Coalition responded directly to the sheriff's post. Betsy and Jay.
There's so much controversy going on with this one, certainly. Thanks a lot, Brandon. Appreciate it. Well, continuing in on our sports theme, the Olympics are in full throttle and medals are already being awarded. Of course, we have some Ohio athletes that are competing in the games, and they're actually doing pretty well.
Jim Donovan is here now to tell us how Ohioans are faring in these early quest for gold medals. Jimmy, good afternoon to you. Already, we've got a Cleveland native who will be coming home with gold around his neck.
Absolutely. Ohio, Ohio, Ohio. I'll tell you. We are chipping in and doing our part over there in Tokyo. And here we go. We'll begin with fencing. That's right, Olympic fencing. This is Lee Kiefer. She's born in Cleveland. She attended Notre Dame, but she won gold medal in women's foil. She is the first American to ever win a gold medal in that discipline, man or woman. She and her family moved away from Cleveland when she was young. This is the third time she's been to the Olympic Games, but it's her first medal, and imagine that, it is gold.
It's so cool. It is such an honor, and hopefully this medal will mean a lot more to come in the future for foil.
Let's go to swimming right now and meet Hunter Armstrong from Dover, Ohio, and the pride of Ohio State. He just missed out, and I underline just missed out on making the finals in the 100-meter backstroke. He missed it by 1/100th of a second. Tied for 9th in Sunday semifinals. 20 years old, something tells us that he'll be back again. He has a message from everybody, or for everybody, who's been really trying to pull him home from Dover.
Thank you. I mean, the amount of support I've gotten from you guys is amazing. It's really helped me get through this meet. Sorry I missed out on the final. I gave you everything I had.
We know that. All right, how about Zach Apple from Trenton, Ohio, just outside of Cincinnati. He's from Indiana University. He won gold. He was part of that fantastic race last night, the relay, the men's 4x100 meter. He was the anchor leg. He went the fastest. He went underneath 47 seconds to bring it home. His nickname is Zapple. Get it? Zach Apple. Put it together. It's Zapple.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, there's so many people back home that have been sending support, and it's so awesome to pull through for all of them. I know they'd be proud of me no matter what, but it's awesome to come away with this. So it's pretty fun.
Well, there you go. And we're just getting started. So coming up at 5:30, Will Hewitt shows up, and he's going to run down the Ohio athletes we will watch tonight and early tomorrow morning. And by early tomorrow morning, I ain't kidding, okay? Tiger Johnson, the boxer from Cleveland.
Another AM fight for him?
Yeah, 4:15 in the morning against a tough boxer from Kazakhstan coming up tomorrow. Tiger won his first bout 3-2 in a split decision.
That was a morning fight, too, so maybe, maybe that's
in the morning.
His time of day. Over there, it's probably evening, but
that's right. But a good start, really a good start. I have to tell you, that relay race last night and the Ledecky race last night was fantastic. As she lost to the young Australian.
The games are back. It's so much fun. Jimmy, thanks.
All right.
We'll see you at 6.
You got it.
And be sure to stay tuned for the Olympic Zone with Jimmy. That's coming up tonight at 7:30. Tonight, we'll meet Carlin Isles from Massillon, who's a big part of the U.S. men's rugby team. That and so much more on the Olympic Zone. It's tonight at 7:30. And next on What's New, catching up with Judd Logan. We first brought you his story, the 4-time Olympian and now head track coach at Ashland University. We told you about his fight against cancer 2 years ago. We're going to update his situation for you coming up next.
And in a completely different topic, Benifer is back. Talk about switching gears, right?
Yeah.
Kira Cotton is going to join us for What's New with J-Lo and Ben's relationship. Now that it's official, at least it's out on Instagram. And Matt is also going to have an update for us on what's happening with the forecast. We'll be right back.
What's New is sponsored by Cleveland Clinic, celebrating 100 years of care.
Sure, Matt. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Got it. Do you want to check the key now? I don't think we've done it yet. Yeah. Yep.
Northeast Ohio has a long and proud history of sending athletes to the Olympic Games. One of the most inspiring that I've ever had the pleasure of meeting is Canton native Judd Logan. Judd represented the United States in the hammer throw in an incredible 4 different Olympics. We first introduced you to Judd back in 2019 when he was battling a rare form of cancer. Since then, Judd has proven without a doubt he's fighting the cancer with the same passion and energy he used as an Olympic athlete.
One of the greatest moments of my life was walking into the Olympic Stadium for the opening ceremonies. And if you've ever seen the opening ceremonies, they're as wonderful as you see on TV and even better in person.
Judd Logan has stored away some impressive memories in his 62 years. He's a 4-time Olympian, a decorated coach, and he comes from a long line of Ohio athletic royalty. His father and brother, football stars at Ohio State. His father, Dick, went on to play for the Green Bay Packers.
But I wanted to be my dad. I wanted that to happen. But guess what? Ohio State did not come calling for me. I didn't make the state meet, but yet went on to make 4 Olympic teams.
Judd found his own success as a hammer thrower. competing in the 1984, 1988, and 1992 Olympic Games before making the 2000 team at the age of 41. He recounted his journey at Ashland University's graduation this past May.
I never grew up wanting to be an Olympian. I had to have somebody shine that light and tell me I could be an Olympian. Find your light giver.
Judd has gone on to be a light giver for so many others as head track and field coach at Ashland since 2004.
And I'll leave you with this quote. You can be good, you can be better, or you can be the best. But think about it this way, good, better, best. Never rest until your good gets better and your better gets best.
His speech, a testament to his winning outlook, despite unforeseen challenges these last few years.
It's a pretty rare diagnosis. It affects about 6,000 patients a year.
When we first met Judd back in 2019, he was completing treatment at the Cleveland Clinic for a rare form of leukemia called B-cell ALL. His diagnosis coming just as his track and field team was reaching the top of their game. And from his hospital bed, Coach Logan watched as his Ashland Eagles clinched their first national championship.
We watched the live stream, and then I had a live stream of tears when I realized that we were going to be national champions for the first time in school history.
Today, Judd is back doing what he loves to do, not only on the track, but also on the course at the Logan Family Foundation annual golf tournament.
I feel amazing. Over 2 years in remission. I still get chemo every 3 months, get a lumbar puncture, a bone marrow biopsy, all confirming remission. That'll end in January, and then hopefully those doctor's appointments will be few and far between.
Despite his continued battle and a global pandemic, Judd has now coached Ashland to 2 more back-to-back national titles. And he continues to inspire his athletes, including 2013 Ashland grad Katie Nagat, who follows in his footsteps as an Olympian in Tokyo.
That is a new Olympic trials record.
Leading by an example, he says, was set by his dad and the coaches who came before him.
When you become successful, you have to be willing to mentor someone else's dream. If you're not willing to share your journey, if you're not willing to share mentorship, if you're not willing to become a light giver for somebody, to push people that you now have an influence over to be explorers, to go out and find that gold standard, challenge them, then your journey's incomplete.
He is quite an inspiration. Comes from an amazing athletic family. I've gotten a chance to meet Judd and some of his brothers, and just a terrific man. He has inspired so many athletes at Ashland. Katie Nagat, by the way, is an Olmsted Falls native, and she has a legitimate shot at bringing home the gold medal. And I've had fun following her as she's competed through the last 8 years with my son in the field portion. We're pulling for you, Katie. I think she's got a real chance to bring back a gold medal.
And I love his message of giving back. You get your
That's what it's
success
all
and you
about.
give back, and it just kind of keeps fostering. Good stuff.
Keep
Great
fighting,
story.
Judd. Great man. Great man.
All right, let's bring in another inspirational person. That would be our own Matt Wentz. Always a guy with a smile on his face, mostly.
Christmas cards in the mail. You're good.
Thanks. Yeah.
Well, you may not have a Christmas card for me when I give you your weather word. I hope I'm still on the Christmas card list. Inspiration, because after that story, I think we need to talk more about an inspiration.
Yeah, great story. Thanks for bringing that to us, Jay. We'll get that into the forecast for sure. I mean, you just look at the sky cam, look outside your window right now. That is inspiration for all of us. Outdoor dining forecast this evening looking great. We've got lots of sunshine. It is hot. AC's open indoors. 80s will fall back into the 70s late this evening, about the 7-8 o'clock hour as you get off towards the north, 9 or 10 down towards the south. But it is steamy this afternoon. Very summer-like. We're in the mid and upper 80s. The one thing you've noticed, it's a pretty comfortable mid and upper 80s. Dew points have fallen into the mid, even lower 50s. That is very comfortable air. So when you take the heat index, or what it feels like, it's actually a degree or two lower. So this is what it feels like. Reason why that's lower than temperature, because you're sweating, right? Evaporation is a cooling process, so it actually makes you feel a little bit cooler when that air can actually evaporate off of you, which is happening. The real heat out in the plains, we've had triple-digit heats up in areas of the Dakotas, down towards Dallas, seeing their first 100 100-degree day, portions of Texas in quite some time. They've had a cool summer down there. But the pattern we've been talking about, this heat ridge, it's been stuck over the western U.S. It's expanded over the last couple days. We're right on the periphery of this, though, so we're not getting the true heat. It's just warmer than where it's been. But off towards our north and the west, this is where our pattern continues to come from. This will be the next wave of storms that moves in late tomorrow. It will fade as it moves in, but we'll keep an eye on that for some isolated boundary pops as we get it into Wednesday, and then Thursday, more formidable chance of rain moves in. Quick trip overseas to Japan right now. They're dealing with a tropical storm, very equivalent to our tropical storms here in terms of the path. This is going to head north of Tokyo over the next couple days before becoming just an area of low pressure. But you know, with tropical systems, it's not just where that center is. You get the rain widespread out around it. So Tokyo getting the rain now. That will linger over the next couple days as it just kind of sits over the island, eventually heading on out as we get over the next couple days, but still pretty rainy set of days for Tokyo. Further home, very inspirational forecast. You can see temperatures falling back into the 70s tonight. Right. I didn't know how I was going to get that. 60s tomorrow morning. Beautiful start. Very summer-like day tomorrow. Some high clouds floating through, and you can see a couple random pops. So we got to keep our eye on that. I think most areas stay dry, but hey, it's summertime. Big change happens this weekend. We'll talk more about that in the next half hour, but be prepared for a beautiful weekend. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast, 88 tomorrow, and then we bring in storm chances Wednesday and especially Thursday. By Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, lower humidity, 70s for highs. Beautiful stretch of weather. We'll be back with Pop Break after the break.
Hi, my name is Kira. We're going to be talking Bennifer 2.0. Thank you.
We begin this segment with the question, is the world ready for Bennifer 2.0?
I saw this, I didn't believe it. I read it again, and by golly, it might be true. Kira Cotton has a story of Bennifer 2.0 and all of the entertainment headlines today in Pop Break.
That's right, we're going to get to all of that. But first, some silver screen action. Fans are getting a first look at the new season of Dexter. The official trailer shows the show's revival was released during a panel discussion at Comic-Con in San Diego this weekend. Now, while it's been 8 years since the original series wrapped, Michael C. Hall says the transition back into the role of a serial killer was oddly easy.
It felt strange, but mostly because of how strange it didn't feel. It's wild to reactivate something that you thought was gone, though I guess I didn't suspect that it was totally gone.
But in a new town where everyone seems to know who he is, will the same urges exist? Dexter, New Blood, will premiere Sunday, November 7th on Showtime. And to the story that we've all been waiting for. Jennifer Lopez may have turned a year older over the weekend, but she certainly hasn't missed a beat. The now 52-year-old is currently celebrating the milestone in France with boyfriend Ben Affleck. And to mark the occasion, she posted several pictures, including one of her and Affleck kissing, making the couple IG official. The post on Lopez's page confirms the rekindled romance after weeks of rumors and paparazzi sightings following her split from Alex Rodriguez. Woo. Now, that's some hot tea there.
That is hot tea. It feels a bit reboundish to me, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Or am I the only one that thinks that?
I think they just never really got that far apart. I think they both were like, okay.
You know what they say, let it go, and if it comes back,
well, that's true.
It was meant to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there we go. Get ready, world.
Now we know it's meant to be.
Bennifer.
Here we go.
Thanks, Kira.
Sure thing.
All right, still a lot to get to here on What's New, including new information on masks. Kind of. We're going to tell you what Governor DeWine said today about whether or not he plans to bring back a mandate for even vaccinated Ohioans.
And some Olympic athletes are doing really well right now in Tokyo. Will Ewick is going to join us with the latest on the games and who to keep an eye out for. That's next.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Here's 3 things you need to know now at 5:30. The state of Ohio will not mandate masks in schools when kids go back to the classroom. Governor DeWine said today he will instead leave that decision up to individual school districts and parents. But the governor cautioned the data shows masking in the classroom overwhelmingly prevents the spread of COVID, and he urged all students eligible for the vaccine to get it, and those who can't get the vaccine to wear a mask inside. Some school districts have already announced their plans. Cleveland Metro schools will require all students to wear masks regardless of vaccination status for at least the first 5 weeks of school. And for a full list of school districts that have announced their plans so far, we have that list at WKYC.com.
Over to Conneaut now in Ashtabula County, where a Pittsburgh firefighter drowned over the weekend in Lake Erie. 38-year-old Lee Weber was out on the water with his family on vacation when the Coast Guard responded to a call on Saturday of a man swimming near the breakwall at the Conneaut Township Park. In a GoFundMe account, Weber's family posted that he drowned while trying to get his son to safety. Weber leaves behind 2 sons and a wife. That GoFundMe page has raised almost $43,000 so far. Lee Weber was an Army veteran and served as a Pittsburgh firefighter for just over 5 years. And it is a very exciting week for football fans here in Cleveland. That's because Browns training camp gets underway Wednesday, 2 more days. We'll see a little more energy in Berea this year since fans will be allowed to watch Friday's practice. This year, the annual Orange and Brown practice at First Energy Stadium is set for August 8th.
Oh, so exciting. And as we welcome you back to What's New, here is a look live now at the Olympic Cauldron in Tokyo. Over 11,000 athletes from more than 200 countries, 33 sports, and all of us get a front seat to the games over the next 2 weeks from Tokyo as the Summer Olympics continue on in Japan. It has been so fun to keep an eye on all that with all the events and just some really great competition happening. And with all that, we still have a lot to get to this half hour of What's New. Thanks so much for staying with us.
Yeah, we've got a lot of Olympic talk. In fact, we'll have a live report coming up from Tokyo at the top of the hour, just before the top of the hour. So we're looking forward to that. Time now, though, for our top talker. And of course, everybody is talking about the Olympics. They are finally here. We've had to wait 5 years for these summer games.
We have, and Will Ewick has been following all the games for us. Joins us now with a little bit more perspective on not only tonight, but there's some competition early tomorrow that Jimmy alluded to.
Yeah, I haven't been getting a whole lot of sleep. You got to set that alarm for that early morning, which to them is at night, but it's been working out for us. We got a couple gold medals to show for it, but some of these people gold medals, and now there's plenty more Ohioans competing in Tokyo coming down the line, one of which tonight, Massillon's Carlin Isles and the U.S. Sevens rugby team continue pool play tonight against South Africa. That's at 10:30 p.m. local time, so you can watch that one. You don't have to set the alarm. Carlin scored the first try for Team USA in Tokyo, and they haven't slowed down since. Now at 2-0, the Massillon Jackson High School grad considered the fastest man in the world in rugby. This is his second Olympics. If you remember, Team USA's third match and final play, they were back in Rio, where they missed out on the medal round. So this is a pretty good spot for them to be in 2-0, looking for 3-0. Glad to be back, more experienced, and the dust is off.
Big step, we wanted to take care of job one first, and we did that. Got the nerves out, got the kinks out, so go back to the drawing board.
And early tomorrow morning, Cleveland's Delonte Tiger Johnson will square off against a boxer from Kazakhstan in the round of 16, just after 4 a.m., Jay. So set your alarm for that one. Johnson advanced over the weekend with a split decision victory over a fighter from Argentina in the opening round. We spoke with Tiger in his hotel room in Tokyo. He said he's taking this next fight one punch at a time.
Just staying focused, just making sure that I'm ready. I'm just taking it fight by fight, one round at a time, and we're going to get the job done.
And keeping it in the ring, Toledo's O'Shea Jones will glove up for the first time in Tokyo tomorrow morning as well. She was selected as the number 3 seed in the women's welterweight division, earning her a first-round bye. Jones will face Mexico's Brianda Tamara Cruz Sandoval at 6:40 a.m. local time. Jones, confident, says she didn't go all the way to Tokyo for anything less than gold.
My intentions are to go there and win gold. I'm not going to place top 5, none of that. I won't go.
So these 3 local athletes all competing in the next 24 hours, guys, but many more coming after that. Buckeye athletes, we have everything from track and field to BMX, dressage, volleyball. We're covering it all and a lot more to come.
So many different athletes and so many different sports. There's a lot to get to. And what they say, 7,000 hours of coverage on NBC, so, got to navigate.
Yeah, my remote had smoke coming out of it. Turning the channels back and forth, trying to keep track of everything. South Africa's no joke in rugby. I actually went to a match there years ago, and it was like our Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They really get into it. So I imagine Team USA really has its work cut out for it tonight against South Africa.
They sure do, and they're out to prove something this time because Rio, they made it, and they got there and kind of fell flat. A lot of people expected a lot better from them down there. Didn't make the medal round. I think that's the goal this year, is at least make it there. And they're off to a good start.
Well, we will wait and see.
Yeah.
Thanks for keeping us updated on our local athletes. It makes it a lot easier to know who to root for and who to watch.
Easier for you.
Yeah, I know. You have all the hard work. Thank you, Will.
Yep.
Now, remember, you can imagine these athletes are soaking in their time in Tokyo, and we want you to be able to follow along on their journey at the games. Let's bring in our digital anchor, Stephanie Haney, right now. She's going to walk us through exactly how to better follow these local athletes. And, Stephanie, there is a method to this madness.
There is a method. I've got it all mapped out for you, because what's clicking in Cleveland is what's clicking in Tokyo, basically, for the next 2 weeks. So we're going to get you set up to follow our remaining 8 Northeast Ohio Olympians. Get your phones ready to snap photos, and we will start with the people competing next, as Will just told us. Competing tonight, we have rugby player Carlin Isles. He is Carlin_Isles on Twitter, and he loses the underscore on Instagram. Just Carlin Isles there. Now, in the wee morning hours, boxer Delonte Tiger Johnson gets in the ring again. We just heard that. You can find him on both Twitter and Instagram at TigerJohnson216, because we know he loves the land. Now to our many track and field competitors. We've got Adelaide Aquila, whose specialty is the shot put in the track and field. Starting off our track and field people here. She is Aquila39 on Twitter and no numbers on Instagram, just Aquila there. On the discus, we have Reggie Jagers. You can find him both on Twitter and Instagram at King Jagers. It's got a nice ring to it. Next, we have Clayton Murphy, who runs the 800-meter race. He's another underscore guy on Twitter. His account there is Clayton_Murph. On Insta, he is at Clayton Murphy. And for our last track star, we have Katie Najat on the pole vault. She is at KTNago13 on both Twitter and Instagram, keeping it simple for us there. And our last 2 Northeast Ohio athletes compete this weekend. We've got Jacob Wookie aiming for the gold in archery. He's only on Twitter at WookieJM. And then also Nick Bruce. He'll ride in the brand new BMX freestyle event. He's keeping it simple for us at Nick_Bruce on both Twitter and Instagram. Now, I know that was a lot.
That is a lot.
So, to make it easy for you, you can do this on Twitter, you can't do this on Instagram. I made a list on Twitter. So if you follow me, you can follow my NEO Olympic athletes list there, and everybody's right there. And we've also got it on WKYC.com.
And keep in mind, you don't have to just look at their feeds and see what they're saying. Send them a note and tell them you're watching. That would fire them up big time.
It really would. And we're getting all the cool behind the scenes stuff too. They're jumping on those cardboard beds. They're having a good time, really getting the personality there.
Get a groundswell of support for them. I think it's awesome.
They do hear those messages, and they
do.
mean a lot, every one of them. So reach out to our NEO folks and wish them luck.
And you can always follow Stephanie. She'll, I'm sure, keep tweeting them out too.
That's true. _Stephanie Haney. We'll get you there.
Thank you, Steph.
Thanks, Steph. Well, be sure to stay tuned for the Olympic Zone with Jimmy Donovan. That starts tonight at 7:30. We're going to be meeting Carlin Isles from Massillon, who is a big part of that men's U.S. rugby team.
Well, breaking barriers still ahead. A look at Jesse Owens' history, both off the track and on it, as we continue to look at athletes who overcame obstacles.
And we have all seen those gender reveal parties, and there's a lot of unique ways that people are showing what gender their baby is. But for one family, it's not so much the gender, it's the type of baby. We'll have that coming up. Matt, we'll also have another check of that forecast. It's such a nice day outside.
Yeah, gorgeous day. A little bit of haze, a little bit of that smoke from way out west, but I'll tell you what, it's not nearly what we were dealing with last week. Temperatures are warm today, and they're going to continue to be warm. I was writing down all those Instagrams as this heat continues to bubble into Northeast Ohio. Eventually, we're going to tap into some storms toward north and west. We'll talk about that over the next 7 days coming up.
spent my Sunday afternoon. Actually, it was one of the most fun events that I've been able to participate in. That's the scene in Valley City yesterday where folks were screaming at frogs, actually for a really good reason. They're trying to get them to jump because it was the annual Frog Jumping Festival in Millstream Park right along the Rocky River. I was a guest judge for just a little bit, but I'll tell you what, hundreds of frogs and families were there and participated, and it's been a tradition for so many families for such a long time. I will admit, I did jump farther than the frogs at some points when that lady screamed. She took me by surprise. And when the frogs come at you, you definitely want to get out of the way. So it was a jumping good time there in Valley City. Such a wonderful little community for sure. It's just to the west of Brunswick on 303. Phenomenal pizza place, Samoski's Pizza, great family-run shop there. We're frequent customers, so definitely get out and enjoy our country areas. But Matt, I'll tell you what, we had great weather yesterday. A little warm, a little humid.
We sure did. Appreciate
but it was dry.
The pizza
and
by.
Considering the weekend before, they had a foot of water on that park from flooding. It's a good thing.
Right. That was one of the areas harder hit with some of those thunderstorms we had a week before. But, anytime you have leftovers or anything, set it in the weather center. Just saying. You can't talk about the restaurant if you don't bring it for Jay and I.
I know. I got to get down there.
For sure. Good time, though. Lots of frogs around there. That was great. Today's high temperatures officially in the books, 89 degrees in Mansfield, Cleveland, Akron, New Philly, all checking in at 87. A little bit cooler out in Ashtabula County, especially closer to the lakeshore. But we didn't hit 90. Another summer day where we didn't hit 90. So far this summer, we've had 5 90-degree plus days. Last summer by today, we had 12. So we're certainly aiming a little bit cooler than we have been over the last couple summers. In fact, average highs over the next 4 weeks, we're at 84. We're at our peak right now. They call it the dog days of summer, right? Typically the warmest days of the year. You notice, we fall back slowly. Next couple weeks, we're talking 83 for an average and back to 81. That's just the midpoint, folks. Is it ever average around here? Rarely. I think we had one last week where we actually hit it on the dot. Temps right now, though, generally in the 80s. It is pretty warm, right? But the humidity is fairly low. The dew points are in the 50s, so it actually feels a degree or two cooler on your exposed skin out there. But the real heat out towards the west, where it's been much of the summer, that heat ridge continues to stay in place. You get lots of sinking air, so there's not a lot of thunderstorm activity. But where you get the rising air is along that periphery where the cooler air meets the warm, and this ridge has shifted off towards the north. So we are now on the train tracks, so to speak, of where these clusters of showers and thunderstorms go. We'll keep an eye on this tonight. That'll move in tomorrow and fade as it moves in. And then we'll have another more formidable area of thunderstorms expected with a pretty potent front for this time of year on Thursday. Summery night, though, clear skies, light winds. Soak it in Northeast Ohio. Dew points remain low, but as we go throughout the day tomorrow, you can see how those dew points creep back up. Definitely more humid tomorrow. It'll also be a hot day as well, so heat index is going to be a little bit warmer. National Design Mart look ahead. Here's that cluster of storms as we get tomorrow on into Wednesday. It will fade. Rain chances are low over the next 2 days, but we will have a boundary. Have to keep an eye on that. On Thursday, we get a more potent front, likely some storms with that. Some of those could be on the strong side. We'll keep an eye on that Wednesday night and Thursday. That will set the stage for a beautiful weekend. Look at the muggy meter going downhill Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Union Home Mortgage 7-day showing the 70s replacing the 80s after we get through some storms on Thursday. But overall, a beautiful Friday, Saturday, and even Sunday, maybe a pop-up then, but gorgeous pattern that looks to take hold after that. Jay?
All right, Matt, thank you very much. Now on to our Show Us Something Good story. This family welcomed home a new member recently. Katie and Zachary had this fun gender reveal party, but instead of announcing a gender, they showed off their Rocket, their newly adopted dog from the Lake Humane Society. Rocket was in the box and made a pretty sweet appearance after the box was knocked over. It was all over social media, too. We wish them the best of luck. Rocket looks like a pretty good member of a family.
I'd say he found a pretty solid forever home.
I think so. Yeah, good-looking dog there. Okay, ahead on What's New, people in Tokyo are just getting ready to start their day. We're going to go live to Japan, where the Olympic Games continue today.
And breaking barriers, a look back at the legacy of Jesse Owens as we highlight athletes of both the past and the present.
The Summer Games Medal Count is sponsored by Dollar Bank. Let's get you there.
U.S. looking pretty good there. 14 medals overall to China's 18. Time now for Breaking Barriers. That's where we spotlight the athletes who have paved the way for others to achieve Olympic success and make Olympic history.
And as Russ Mitchell explains, this segment likely wouldn't exist without Jesse Owens, a black man who won 4 gold medals in Nazi Germany.
Jesse Owens, whose grandfather was a slave, moved from Alabama to Cleveland, Ohio as a child. After equaling world records in high school, he became known as the Buckeye Bullet at Ohio State, where he once broke 4 world records in a single day, but never received a scholarship and had to work part-time to pay for school. In 1936, Owens sailed to Berlin, where his performance became legendary by earning gold medals in the 100-meter, 200-meter, 4x100 relay, and the long jump. That led to one of the most iconic moments in sports history, Owens saluting the American flag as Adolf Hitler looked on, single-handedly dismantling Hitler's theory of Aryan supremacy. Unfortunately, that fame did not change much back home, where FDR never invited Owens to visit the White House. After declining a trip to Sweden with the Olympic team, Owens' amateur status was revoked, effectively ending his athletic career, and with it, his endorsement deals. To make money, Owens would race amateurs and horses. He worked as a gas station attendant and eventually landed at the Ford Motor Company. Owens died in 1980 at the age of 66, a true legend who broke barriers.
4 world records in one day.
Yeah, I don't know that you could find more of a barrier breaker than Jesse Owens, because while you have Jackie Robinson that broke the color barrier in Major League Baseball, Owens was on a world stage in Hitler's backyard, and it rocked the sports world, and the waves from that event are still reverberating.
That picture of him saluting the flag with Hitler there is
Goosebumps.
just like, man, that's good stuff. That's what it's about, right? It's so good.
Take that. An incredible, incredible athlete. Next on What's New, we're going to go live to Tokyo. We have an update on these Summer Games.
And today's pop question before that. It's Olympic related too, of course. Which dog breed was the first official Olympic mascot? Was it a pug, a dachshund, or a boxer? We will have the answer to that straight ahead. I don't know why you did the British accent.
Yeah, I was wondering about
that. That was a little odd. Sorry, friends.
That worked, though.
Yeah. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good evening. Thanks for being with us. I'm Russ.
Hey, mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm Laura Queso. Thanks so much for joining us.
It's me. Well, before the break, we asked you which dog breed was the first official Olympic mascot. And the answer is...
Read it with a British accent.
B, the Dachshund.
There you go.
Yeah, close enough, right? Its name was Waldy, and it was the mascot for the 1972 Summer Olympics in Munich, Germany. Now you know.
All right.
Well, it's a big day of competition at the Tokyo Olympics, where many of Team USA's biggest stars are showing strong.
NBC's Liz McLaughlin is with us live from Tokyo with the very latest. Liz, good morning to you. And good morning there. Good afternoon here. What's the big story from Tokyo today?
Well, I have to say, Jay and Betsy, that it might be the weather. It's a departure from the normal sunny weather that we've been seeing, but it is providing some relief from those super high temperatures that athletes have been battling. So I don't mind getting a little wet, and neither does the U.S. swim team, who have earned 8 medals so far in the pool.
U.S. swimmer Caleb Dressel is vying for 6 gold medals in Tokyo and already getting comfortable at the top of the podium. Part of the first finishing team in the 4x100 free relay.
I feel good. First race is always a little shaky, so I'm glad to get a somewhat decent one under my belt.
Katie Ledecky earned silver for the U.S. in the 400 free in a narrow loss to Aussie Ariane Titmus.
Felt like I fought and put up the best effort I could, and Ariane had a tremendous race, so I think we delivered. We delivered a great race. 4 more potential great races for her on the schedule, including her signature event, the 1,500-meter free, a new addition this year.
Half turn off.
The women's gymnastics team stumbled at qualifying, but still has a shot at the team's 3rd straight gold in the final Tuesday. In 3x3 basketball, a pickup-style event making its Olympic debut, the U.S. women beat China in a buzzer beater,
Kelsey Plum,
clinching the undefeated team's 6th win of the tournament to advance.
It's a tough match. I just think that we battled, and I'm proud of my team.
The U.S. softball team also on a winning streak,
Stewart, deep fly ball. Back it goes, and gone!
finishing pool play 5-0 and earning the home team advantage against Japan in the gold medal game.
No matter what's thrown at us, we're going to be able to withstand it.
Tuesday's scheduled matchup getting a curveball from the weather with a tropical storm hitting Japan.
The rain and wind here have already postponed a handful of events, including archery, rowing, and surfing, but no call yet on softball, so I'm all geared up for that game. I've got the jersey here, a softball, of course, the gloves, even some cleats. Look at those spikes. Pretty hardcore.
Very nice.
So put me in, coach. I'm ready. That's the gold medal game happening tonight, 8 local. So in the morning for you guys. Betsy and Jay, back to you.
Yeah, well, we can't wait to see that, certainly, and go USA. Thanks so much, Liz. Appreciate it. Stay dry.
And thanks so much for watching What's New. We're back tomorrow at 5, and we hope to see you then.
What Matters Most with Russ and Laura starts right now.
If you want to, stay out of the hospital, get the vaccine.
Governor DeWine unveils more guidelines as the COVID Delta variant continues to affect more in Ohio. Monica Robbins breaks down what that means to your family. Also, lake tragedy. Amani Abraham talks to the Coast Guard about the drowning of a firefighter in Lake Erie over the weekend and how it could have been prevented. Name change outrage. A social media post over the Indians' new name has landed a local sheriff in a heated debate. And Olympic dreams.
It's so cool. It is such an honor.
Athletes from Northeast Ohio are taking center stage at the Summer Games as the agony of defeat hits some of the other U.S. hopefuls early on. Will Ewick breaks down what Team USA is doing to turn that around.
From the WKYC studios, this is What Matters Most.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Russ Mitchell.
And I'm Laura Cascio. Tonight, a new message from the state about